I'm Halo Eden Gray. This is what's next. Well, Oh My Ghost is actually really good. It's like a breath of fresh air. It was 2015 that this drama came out. It has Park Bo-young, Kim Seul-ki, Jung-eun, Lee Jung-eun. Let me tell you what it's about. Bong-Soon, he actually ends up getting possessed by Sune. And when she died, she was a virgin. She feels that her unfinished business is that she wants to lose her virginity. And she meets Chef. He hatches her plans to try to seduce him. The male lead is not an asshole. None of the women in this drama are stupid. Because of the things that this drama didn't have in it, it had to add things that maybe it shouldn't have. Like, oh, this drama.
You say you love me, but I don't think that is true.
I know I said I really liked the personality of the main male lead, that he was a stand-up guy, I thought. But he did have a couple things that I just was not, and probably just on a personal level, I don't like him. Number one, he was too emotional. It's not cute to me. Like the just open weeping. I get it, guys crying, all that. It ain't cute. It's not cute. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know a lot of women like that, and I'm not knocking it. You need to cry, cry. I'm not telling. Everybody is entitled to their feelings. Everybody is entitled to cry. But this that he was doing, no, thank you. I could not, even in those seconds, stand it. So that was a drawback for me. The other thing, he was petty as hell. Okay, so there was a couple times he was petty, and it was like not just petty, but like immature. So he liked So-young, but he didn't tell So-young that he liked her. So they're at her job talking about the show, and her coworker, who's married, mind you, comes up and starts hitting on her. Her coworker's sleazy, basically, and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm going out of town, you want me to buy you something, whatever. So-young's like, why don't you buy something for your wife? So-young did not give this man the time of day. But while the guy was sitting there, his keys fell out of his pocket, and Chef seen this, and so when the guy got up, he like switched where he was sitting to sit where the guy had been sitting, and picks up the keys and puts them in his pocket. Now later on, the guy comes up and is like, hey, I can't find my keys. Did you guys see it? He's like, oh no, I ain't see it. I'm like, you're so daggone petty. Rather than just tell this woman you like her, instead you want act like a child to any guy who gets close to her, like for any reason. It doesn't make any damn sense. And it's so funny because then Bong-Soon calls him on it. But even still, I don't care. I don't care if you acknowledge it. It was immature. It still is unlikable. So then the second time that he really does this, it was even worse to me. Like, it was more egregious. Person with high morals or something, I don't know. But I felt like it was just unethical. So he owns a restaurant that, you know, Bong-Soon, Jun, Min-soo, some other people all work there. Under him, he is their boss. He employs them. So they all go to a staff retreat. And Min-soo, he's the sous chef there. He is kind of bullying Bong-Soon. Min-soo's just kind of immature. Like, he's not really like an evil person or anything. He's just kind of immature and annoying to people. But anyway, so he's telling Bong-Soon like, oh, you need to carry all these boxes or whatever. And so Jun sees this, and Jun's like, why are you trying to make her carry all these boxes? She's a girl. And he's like, oh, she's not a girl, she's Bong-Soon. He was like, oh, so is she a man? Is she a man then? And so Min-soo was like, well, why are you defending her? Is that your girlfriend? Are you her boyfriend? And he was like, oh, do I gotta be her boyfriend? Fine, then I'm her boyfriend. Okay? Stop bullying her. So he carries the boxes in. And so, you know, Sune slash Bong-Soon, but she is possessed at this point. Sune's like, oh, June, thank you. You know, she's just over the top and adorable. So she's like, thank you. And she like calls him Oppa and stuff like that. And it's really silly, but like, clearly, you know what I'm saying? They're just friends. It's not that big a deal. Now, she had been trying to get with Chef. Trying very, very adamantly, I guess is a good word for it, to sleep with Chef. And Chef has been no, right? So they're not involved. They're not dating. He hasn't admitted that he liked her, anything. So they decide to have a cook-off, all the chefs, because there's a total of 5, because Sune is included in this. Chef is the owner of the restaurant, so he is the judge. He's making the final decision, whatever is his restaurant. He says everybody's going to make a dish. Whoever makes the best dish is going to, you know, that dish is going to be added to the menu at the restaurant. Now, that's a big deal for someone who hopes to be a chef, getting your meal on a menu, like getting your signature meal on there, getting your name on there. Like, and Chef is not like just nobody. He's actually a famous chef. So he's a very well-known chef. So yeah, getting your meal on at his restaurant would be great. So, at the end of the contest or whatever, after everybody cooks their meals and they try everybody's meals, there's 2 people it comes down to, and that's Min-soo and June. And everybody like feels like June is the winner. June's meal is the best, whatever. But they start chanting his name, and Sune also starts chanting his name, June, right? And so Chef, who hasn't admitted that he likes Sune, instead decides to get jealous and pick Min-soo. And I feel like that was so wrong, because like that's affecting someone's career, and you are using your position of authority to enact your jealousy on a person and hurt their career. So I felt like that was just too far. And then there's another scene where he's, you know, acting all jealous and just being careless, and he accidentally burns June. But that was like an accident. That wasn't really just like him like trying to like be petty and, you know, harm the guy. But yeah, he was petty and immature, and those were not likable qualities. This is the main thing. So like I said, it didn't have a lot of those elements that you're used to seeing in dramas. So you didn't, you know, have like the clingy females, and you didn't have the rival love interest and all of that. You didn't even have the crazy mom, the normal mom. She wasn't like, let me offer you a bunch of money to leave my son alone kind of mom. She was just kind of like, are you sure? I don't know about this, you know. But then it's unclear whether the mom accepts it, because the mom just kind of disappears into the last episode after a while. So there's that. But either way, you didn't have to deal with crazy mom. So I think to make up for these elements that weren't there, that you're used to seeing in any other drama, they added a very bad subplot. So there was a villain, and okay, so I'm gonna try to break this. Was confusing all the way. So Yune is Chef's sister. She was 3 years prior hit by a car. It was a hit and run. She's paralyzed from the waist down. Now, the person who hit her is now her husband. No one knows that he's the person who hit her. And that husband is also a cop. And also, that husband is possessed by an evil spirit and has been for years. So, there's a few things. All right. So, there's a few things, because in any, you know, drama, any show that's created, they create their own universe. So, they set up the parameters of, like, what can happen and what can't, what the rules are of this universe. Do ghosts really exist? What's the rules to ghosts? Like, you know, whatever. So one thing is that one reason why the shaman tries to get Sune to cross over soon is because it's almost been 3 years since Sune died. And apparently if a ghost stays around longer than 3 years, they'll start to turn evil. And she says you'll start to go evil. And those ghosts that can't let go of the living, they'll stick around on earth, they'll be evil, and they'll hang around evil people and encourage them to do bad things. Okay? So, ghost turns evil after 3 years, hangs around evil people to encourage them to do evil things. Alright? So, that's important. That does come into play. Also, another thing that is set up that we see when Sune depossesses Bong-Soon. Bong-Soon has no recollection, no awareness of what happened while she was possessed. Also, while Sune is possessing Bong-Soon, she does not have access to any of Bong-Soon's memories. That's also very important. Okay, these are rules that are set up within this drama. Now, you know what it looks like when a drama or a show doesn't follow its own rules. Looking at you, Lost. Looking at you. But, you know how annoying that can be. Well, this show decided, who cares about the rules? Let's just make it more confusing. Okay, so the subplot, it had nothing to do with the main plot. It was just really just filler. Okay, so first off, it is unclear when the husband, Sung-jae, it's unclear when he got possessed. So there's a scene where his wife, Yune, asks him like, oh, I know you were in an orphanage when you were a child, but I don't really know much about your childhood and your past. Wish they're married, mind you. I don't really know much about your childhood or your past. Did you ever get adopted? And he's like, oh, nope, never got adopted. So then it goes back into, I guess, some sort of flashback, right? And it's him as a teenager, and he's with a family, and I'm thinking that maybe he was adopted by this family, and then this family had a baby, and it was a little girl. So he now has a baby sister, even if he's adopted, but I think he was just jealous. So he planned on killing the baby. He was going to smother her. But the dad walked in, caught him, and kicked him out. Now, on a side note, when you see that scene when the dad walks in, I'm just wondering how the dad knew that he was trying to kill the baby, because that's not what it looked like he was doing when the dad walked in. But he got upset like that's what he was doing. I mean, I think, like, as the viewer, we know that's what he's about to do. But as from the dad's perspective, it just looks like he's holding a stuffed animal, trying to get the baby, trying to amuse the baby. Like, I don't really know. I don't know. But anyway, dad kicks him out. And so, so then he gets into a fight with somebody. I don't know how this fight comes about either. So then he's laying beat up on the floor, like in maybe an attic or some room or whatever. And then that's when you see the dark spirit coming towards him. And I'm guessing that's the point where he got possessed. Which means he was already evil, right? Which kind of makes sense, because she said evil spirits hang around evil people and make them do evil things, I guess. So okay, so he was already evil because he was trying to kill his sister when he wasn't possessed, and he apparently got in a fight with a random person when he wasn't possessed. So he already has some issues. Okay, so he wasn't possessed when his dad kicked him out, but he got possessed after that. Then later on, he became a cop, and he actually runs into his dad again at one of those traffic stops, or like those checkpoints where checking for drunk drivers. And he's like, yeah, hi, Dad. which doesn't make any damn sense because he's possessed now. How the hell does that guy even, how does he even know who that guy is? I don't know. And so then the dad, he ends up planning to kill his dad, which I guess is his adopted dad. I don't know, but he's planning to kill him, but then he ends up not going through it. But why was he planning to kill? Because if he wasn't possessed when the dad kicked him out, like, why does he have any kind of feelings towards the dad to be like, I want to kill him, I'm angry, let me kill him? Like, even if the ghost had been hanging around and was like, oh, yeah, that dad kicked him out, like, why would the ghost be like, I need to enact revenge? Like, the ghost has no ties to that man. So I'm confused as to why the ghost would care enough to plot to kill the guy, but then couldn't do it. And this is the stupid thing. So he couldn't do it. He couldn't bring himself to do it. And so he's angry. He ended up hitting Yune, right? Hit and run. Sune sees it. So he kills her. But he couldn't kill the, okay. And then just the fact that, like, there's multiple times where it's just random evilness, okay? Like, he's a cop, so they go to this call with somebody, I don't know, maybe it's complaining about a dog making a lot of noise. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyways, they leave. He comes back and beats up the dog. Off-screen dog abuse for no reason. He, like, kicks an old woman's cart down the street. No reason. He walks in, at one point, he walks into Sune's dad's restaurant, and Sune's dad is, like, laying on the floor unconscious, and he just walks back out and tells his partner, no one's in there, let's go somewhere else and eat, rather than helping him in. There was really no reason for him to be that way, right? Like, it was just like, I don't even understand why he's upset. So then, this all kind of comes to a head, and he ends up kidnapping Bong-Soon. But that doesn't make, like, why did he kidnap Bong? I still don't get why he kidnapped her. Like, there was, like, literally no reason to kidnap her, because Sune could just possess somebody else. If like, once Sune remembers that you were the person who kills her, could you just possess somebody else? Like, why did you kidnap Bong-Soon? And then he just lets Bong-Soon go. Like, he didn't kidnap her for any damn reason. Like, for real, for real. Just cause. Just cause. No reason. And I'm like, that's so dumb too, because with Sune being a ghost, Bong-Soon not really having any ties to this man, okay, other than now he is her boyfriend's sister's husband, right? Like, the burden of proof would have been hard for her to say, oh yeah, this cop is the person who killed this other person that we think committed suicide, because they thought Sune committed suicide this whole time. Like, it would have been harder for her to, like, prove that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I know you think she committed suicide, but he actually killed her, and he actually also ran over his wife's legs, and he's evil. Possessed by an evil spirit. Like, that would have been harder to explain. But at the point where he kidnapped her, well, now they can get him on kidnapping. They don't. I don't think. He's in a hospital at the end. He doesn't seem to be in jail at all. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. So on top of that, okay, so this is where it gets even more convoluted. So when it kind of comes to this, like, climax with the shaman and Sune and, you know, Sungjae and / evil spirit that's possessing him type thing, whole, like, show off, showdown, standoff, whatever it's called. Anyway, when it comes to that, okay, so the evil spirit jumps out of the husband's body and scowls at the shaman, right? And husband's sitting there looking like, I have no idea what's going on kind of way, right? So the evil spirit jumps back in his body. Okay. Gets up to run away. Stops. They're on top of a building. Stops. All these flashes of like hit the wife and, you know what I'm saying, and things that she said, I love you, just let me know what's going on with you, and I'm always going to love you no matter what, and this, that, and the third. All this flashed to his head. And rather than just going off the rooftop, like in a safe manner to where he would live, he just throws himself off the rooftop. Why did he do that? If he's an evil spirit, why would he do that? Like, he decided that this would be the best, like, you know what? I feel bad because I've hurt my wife. Let me throw myself off a building. But it doesn't make any damn sense because it couldn't have been like the actual person, right? Like, it couldn't have been the actual man because man doesn't remember the wife. So it had to be the evil spirit all of a sudden feeling bad for the things he's done, decided to throw himself off the building. But the evil spirit's already dead. What was he preventing? Okay, like, I'm so confused. What was he preventing? Like, what was he stopping? I don't understand. Like, how did this fix anything? Couldn't the evil spirit just then go possess some other body? Like, was this his method of getting away? And then if that's the case, why weren't they looking for the evil spirit after that? I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. If you watched it and you understand, please explain it to the rest of us because it didn't make any damn sense to me. And so then at the end, the sister is visiting him, like at the hospital where, you know, as far as she knows, he got a head injury from falling off of a building. And he doesn't remember the last few years. So she visits him every day. I'm like, anybody gonna tell her that he's an evil spirit? Like, he's never gonna remember that because he wasn't there. But then at the same time, I'm like, but where did the evil spirit go? Maybe he will remember. Maybe he's still evil and we just don't know yet. But that's where we're at with that. I don't know what. I wish her the best, I guess. There's another thing. Okay, so another thing about this was that prior to Bong-Soon getting kidnapped by this guy, she had came clean with Chef and told him, like, you know, hey, ghosts are real and I was possessed, so the person that you love isn't me, basically. And so they broke up. She broke up with him, but then, like, once she, like, actually convinced him that the ghosts were real or whatever, you know, they parted their ways, and she left where she was living, which was on top of the restaurant, that he owned or whatever, and, she went and stayed at Sune's dad's restaurant, and, he was looking for her, Chef was looking for her. He ended up finding her, and he's like, you know, I determined that I definitely liked you before you were possessed, but, you know, I was interested in you before. But I'm like, but you didn't fall in love with her. Before she was possessed, you were very much in love, or, you know, at least pining for So-young. So I don't really understand, like, she's not the person that you fell in love with. Like, she looks like her, but she's not her, you know, because you actually fell in love with the ghost that was possessing her. Like, you didn't fall in love with her until she was possessed. Even though some of the times they were, you know, interactions or whatever, it was Bong-Soon. Most of the time it was Sune. So, but he goes, you know, I haven't forgiven you for deceiving me, but don't disappear again, this, that, and the third. Then she gets kidnapped. Then they get her back. Then he in love. What is he in love with? So this is the thing. She was possessed most of the times, most of their interactions, which means the person that he fell in love with was Sune, who's a ghost. Okay, can't be with a ghost. Looks like Bong-Soon, not really, but because she's possessing Bong-Soon, looks like Bong-Soon, but isn't Bong-Soon. That's number one. Number two, why would Bong-Soon be in love with him? She wasn't present for most of the time that they were together. She was possessed. She doesn't know any of those things. So I'm just like, so these two wouldn't actually be in love. And then, so after they, you know, Sune moves on and Bong-Soon and Chef decide to be together and all this, Bong-Soon wins a cooking competition and then goes overseas for 2 years. And then comes back to Chef and like, there's even a point that they mentioned that like she hadn't been calling him while she was gone. She hadn't even been saying that. So these two people would not be in love in real life. Like in reality, they really don't know each other. Also, what I don't understand is why is Bong-Soon so feisty after Sune possessed her? Like once Sune moves on, why is Bong-Soon all of a sudden so feisty? Would it, like, it's not like Sune taught me how to speak up for myself. You weren't there. You guys weren't. You weren't there. You weren't there. I don't understand how her being possessed equaled her now being super talkative and feisty and all of that. So I don't know, but yay, whatever. Cool. I'm glad those two got together and love conquers all. It's like they use this like villain subplot to just kind of take up all that time that where, you know, the two would have been apart and they would have had to find their way back to each other and all. Like they didn't want to put all that in there. So it's just like, let's have her get kidnapped and then get her back and then they'll be in love. And yeah, that works. Let's skip, you know, 2 years in the future for no reason. So, so yeah, that happened. So I feel like they just kind of, I felt like at the end, they just kind of wrapped everything up like super quick. Like they just was like, whatever. Like it's not bad or anything. It's, you know, good. It's interesting. I feel like I really do like this story. I don't know if it not having some of those common, like, the crazy ex or the clingy girlfriend or the crazy mom or, you know, or even like the stern father that doesn't approve of anybody for his son or something. I don't know. Maybe because it didn't have those subplots. That's why we got this kind of sloppy villain thing. But, I don't think that, you know, I don't think in and of itself that the villainy was bad. Like, I don't mind the sub part. I just think that, like, they set up rules throughout, and then it's like they kind of threw them out the end. Like, all of a sudden, what, the man can remember the stuff that happened when he was possessed? Or all of a sudden, the evil spirit has a conscience? And where did we establish that a person just falling off a roof is like exorcism? Like, I don't, like, that doesn't make any sense. And also, even if he's not possessed, you said that the evil spirits hang around evil people, so he's still evil. Also, does anybody know that he's evil other than the shaman and Sune? I just, maybe Bong-Soon? Is anyone going to tell the sister at all? I'm just, yeah, I'm still so concerned for her. Someone help her. But overall, I actually really did like it. I love these actors. I really like them. And I will probably watch this drama again. Yes. So, like, share, subscribe. And, what's next?
You say you love me, but I don't think that it's true.